I'm George Reister. He's Ralph Amsden, and this is Reister or Wrong. Up today, Sports Illustrated wants to spend $400+ million to build a paradise in Mississippi. Will it work? Or will it be like ESPN restaurants? Jim Jordan and Dave Portnoy are in cahoots. Bruh, can we please just make it stop? As a part of Roger Goodell testifying in front of Congress. And top five today, our top five superheroes, and a subject I'm so excited about, Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets, and my Los Angeles Lakers. And we want to talk a little bit about Jaylon Ferguson, Ravens player who just passed away. You guys can always hit us up 818-293-7547. All right. We'll start though, Ralph, with Sports Illustrated. They want to build a $400 million paradise that essentially looks like a like. Okay, I'll read it. They want to build a mega resort on the Mississippi coast, one of the first in the U.S. It's going to include hotels, restaurants, and attractions Mississippi has never seen before. And from the renderings of it, it looks like Las Vegas. You know what I mean? Like it looks like Las Vegas meets Wild World of Sports. So obviously they're going to be in on the gambling component because it's in Mississippi, so you can have casinos there. It is going to be like they're going to try to attract sports there and events. Are you in on this or are you out?
This sounds more like something up Barstool Sports Alley. Um, Sports Illustrated is kind of underwent an interesting evolution because it is owned. The ownership group around it is headed up by Jim Heckman, who like co-founded Rivals, and then I think at one point got forced out at Scout, and then they went in on Sports Illustrated, ended up laying a bunch of people off, and then they went to like the team specific model, and they must be doing decent
And they are
financially.
behind a paywall too.
Yes, some of their stuff is, some of their stuff isn't. They have a couple of, I think Bruce Feldman is one of their main guys. They have a couple of big time writers still
Wait, Bruce
affiliated
Feldman's not at
with
the
them.
Athletic anymore?
I can't. It's one of those guys. It's either Feldman or Woken, or it's not Thamel because he's at ESPN now. One of those guys is still at Sports Illustrated. They have somebody like they're not completely down and out. The team specific thing is interesting. I had a friend that was running the Arizona State one for a while. I'm a little bit surprised that this is that they would have the ability to acquire the financing to build something like this. And I'm also a little bit surprised at the location. I just spent time on the Mississippi coast for the very first time last year when I was moving out to Charlotte. I drove my wife's car back. I stopped in Biloxi for a night, left a couple $100 in the Hard Rock there. This is actually not right down on the coast. This is not only inland, past the little the inlet and the delta. It's up, I think, toward the 10
Yes.
freeway, I believe, and so it's not going to be right on the line. It's going to be a little bit more accessible for people coming in and out, but it's not going
Oh,
to be right down on
and
the water like the Hard Rock is.
and do you know what that probably makes it? A little bit safer. For because the Mississippi does have a tendency to flood sometimes, and the last thing that you want is your $400 million getting run down the river.
Yeah, and it's also got as any tourist trap does. There's some townies and there's some riffraff. There's some transient populations that sort of make the. I mean, everywhere's the same. California, Florida, like you have people who make a living trying to nickel and dime the people who are passing through. Um, which I guess that's a better way to support the economy than actually dropping it in Sports Illustrated or Hard Rock in their pocket.
Yeah, because
But
on the renderings though, it looks like it's actually going to have. It looks like part Six Flags, part. you know, yeah, so like part amusement park like that. That it's that they're trying to make it a place where a family says, "Oh, we'll go there because mom and dad can gamble. We can send the kids to the amusement park at the same time, and then there's water slide like that. That it's more like a you know like a place that I just went to in the Bahamas,
Yeah.
where like a Bar Mar or a an Atlantis.
And stop me if I start to sound incredibly sexist. But here's one of the things for me. So what they're saying, and this is a very interesting quote, is that they think they'll draw between 1 and 2 million visitors a year. There's a big gap between 1 and 2 million.
Yes.
Like that's a big difference. But do we think that the Mississippi coast can be a family vacation destination that is dad driven? Because most family vacations, it's like one of the biggest priorities is like we need to find a place where mom's going to be comfortable, where mom can relax. That's the one of the perfect balances of Las Vegas is that you have something for everybody, including on the
Oh,
family
that's what this is
side. But
intended to do. Clearly, like I mean, see,
so you
here's
think
the
it's
thing:
just the
is
Sports Illustrated name will be like guys will be like, well, I like sports, and then they'll women will be like, oh, the beach, and then they'll have a few
yep,
Ferris wheels and stuff for the kids, and they think that'll be enough to make the Mississippi coast instead of going out to making the trip out to Florida and leaving your money at at one of the parks down there. Do you think this is actually viable?
yes, dude. If you can get volleyball tournaments to come down there, like,
I
cause
see what you're saying.
if you can get the tournaments to go down there, whether it's
Yeah.
7-on-7 volleyball, like, and get people there to experience it first, and then they're like, oh wait, hold on, no, 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 we will happily come back there. That's how you attract parents there. Is you force them to come there first, and then if they figure out, oh wait, this is an adult hangout spot too, we're in. Like this is a place we can head to on the weekend, and it's not, and it's upscale too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is an
So yeah,
absolute
you
win.
could pull people from Louisiana, pull people from northern Florida, and then obviously you have everything that's north of there. I think it could be a regional boon. I Anything that's helpful for Mississippi, I'm sort of all about because they're like the butt of the joke of America. Like people like to joke about Florida, people like to joke about California, but like when it comes to all the measurables and the metrics, whether it's like obesity or education or crime or poverty, it's always like, oh, there's Mississippi down there at 48 or 49 or 50.
Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, but
Yeah.
they would hate to live in California though. It's miserable out here.
I'm just fascinated to see if why Sports Illustrated. Why isn't this something MGM didn't take on, or Harrah's, or
Mm,
somebody more established in this area?
that's a good
What does
question.
what does Sports Illustrated think is in it for them that this would be the boost to them or the next evolution for them? Because like you brought up ESPN Zone,
Yeah,
and I think
and
if it wasn't for ESPN Zone, we wouldn't have Sam Ponder. So shout out to
yeah,
ESPN Zone.
yo,
She got discovered as a waitress there.
yeah,
But those things went bye bye. I think.
yeah. Yes they did. And you raised a very good point. Why didn't they do it? And they are in that business of gambling and making money. But they do already have casinos in Mississippi, so they may have just been like, we're not building another one. All right, next thing up. This clip went viral today, and this is Roger Goodell speaking in front of Congress because of the Washington football team, because their ownership can't behave themselves. So he had to show up in front of Congress, and here is what he said.
Ban Dave Portnoy from NFL games?
Pardon me, I couldn't hear your question.
Why do you ban Dave Portnoy from NFL games? He's a journalist. In fact, he's a sports journalist. Why is he banned?
Congressman, I'm not familiar with that issue. I'm happy to
Really?
check with my staff, but I'm not aware of that.
First thing, why on earth is Jim Jordan in a hearing about the Washington Commanders. First of all, he referred to them as the Redskins probably 10 times, knowing better. First of all, I wish Roger Goodell had been like, sir, excuse me, they are the Washington Commanders. I wish he had corrected him. First
He
thing.
did. I think at one point
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
correct
yeah,
it.
yeah. But it was after just
Yeah.
a repeated, just time and time again. But why is Jim Jordan caping for Dave Portnoy in the middle of something that is completely unrelated? I don't get it.
I think that here my theory on this is that Jim Jordan is trying to build a case against the NFL um, being pro free speech on the heels of the Jack Del Rio thing, on the heels of the Kaepernick settlement, on the heels of the Redskins having to change their name to the Commanders, which by the way happened 30 years too late. Um, and I think that Jim Jordan is trying to like basically just craft an argument to say that like, no, what you care about is controlling whatever narrative. To use Dave Portnoy being banned by the NFL and then to refer to him as a journalist is one of the
Right?
most disingenuous things I have ever seen.
Dude,
just within
Dave
the lane of
Portnoy
like
is not
sports
a
and Congress.
journalist.
He
That's
would-
like
I-
calling
you-
me I am not a journalist. That is
I don't think I've never seen him refer to himself non-jokingly as a journalist. That's not even something that Dave Portnoy would have said. So that part is wild. And then like, why the hell did Roger Goodell lie to Congress? He's lying.
Are you sure?
Oh my gosh, yes, I'm
No,
absolutely sure.
Pay attention to what he said. He didn't say he wasn't familiar with Dave Portnoy. He said he wasn't familiar with him being banned.
Come on now. Of course he is.
Are you sure? How do you know?
Because it made national news because I think first of all, I think Dave Portnoy got like arrested at a Deflategate protest, which
no,
led
he
to his
showed
ban.
up at the NFL offices, and he got arrested for trespassing.
And then banned. And then that's what got him kicked out of the 2019 Super Bowl, which again made national news. And then Sean Payton wore a Barstool designed Roger Goodell clown nose shirt in a press conference about his, I think regarding his Bounty Gate
Yes,
suspension.
yes.
And then Dave Portnoy also won an auction that would have allowed him to spend time with Roger Goodell, and Roger Goodell reversed course on the auction and refunded the money. Like, Dave Portnoy has done everything to get Roger Goodell's attention after being the whole point is to just harass Roger Goodell. In fact, in response to this, Dave Portnoy called Roger Goodell Hitler.
Oh, dude. Okay, so everybody is applauding Dave Portnoy. I am applauding Roger Goodell for this. I'm applauding Roger Goodell. He pulled the LeBron on Skip Bayless. Like, he did exactly what LeBron does to Skip Bayless. Skip will talk about LeBron incessantly, day in and day out. How many times have you ever heard LeBron mention Skip's name?
I have never heard, ever.
Okay. And
Ever.
Roger Goodell is just like, I don't even know that do this. Like, that is that not the greatest thing that you can do if you're in his position? Is literally not even acknowledge his existence. That is winning on every level. Like, I'm not even going to acknowledge you as a human being, and damn sure not as an important human being. Because if he had answered that question in any way, it would have been followed up with more subsequent questions about him. He like, listen, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know anything about a suspension. I mean, about a ban. There's
The
that.
LeBron comparison is interesting. The LeBron comparison is interesting because Skip Bayless got filthy rich off of LeBron's name, and LeBron not only refuses to acknowledge him, but like regularly acknowledges Shannon Sharp.
Yes.
Which is pretty funny.
Yes, he pretends like he's doing a one-man show.
And I enjoy that because I think that that's a lot more of a disingenuous thing of like, don't give Skip Bayless any oxygen. He's already surviving off of a complete lack of it anyway. Who knows if LeBron did say his name, Skip Bayless's head might actually physically explode. Um, but the whole thing with like that, there's a difference when you're in front of Congress, and again, the line of questioning is completely disingenuous. And Jim Jordan, not a not a great person. If he's a defender of your values, that's fine. But as a human being, no, thank you.
Yep.
But like, he's pretty clearly lying. And then Dave Portnoy calling Roger Goodell Hitler on social media in response to that. It's just like I don't I
Hitler,
Goodell makes
bro, bro. We should like shut up, Dave. Shut up, Dave. Like, come on, get out of here. I think we've spent enough time on this, dude. Man. Anyways, all right. Now it is time for our top five. One of our favorite segments. Top five today, and today, top five superheroes of all time. And I did not give Ralph the criteria for this, so I know that he's gonna come up with some wacky criteria that he came up with for his rationale for his B-side list. I know
It's
that
tough.
Ralph. I know that you made a B-side list. I know you did.
Okay.
All right.
It's Were you a comic book kid?
Nope.
Oh,
Watched
man.
him on
I
TV.
was. I was. I was a big time. Not to the point where like it lasted into adulthood. It was a lot like pro wrestling with me. If they were making pro wrestling movies about like fictionalized pro wrestling movies about the characters from the 90s, I would also spend money to watch every single one of those. But it didn't like once I turned 20, I don't think my kids read comics now. They tell me about different stuff, but most of the stuff that I'm watching in movies, some of it's news to me because it's things that happened after 2004 in comic books. But I was pretty invested before that, so I'm gonna try not to get frustrated with some of your answers here that are completely based off of what you've seen on screen.
Oh, I know that some of them are different. So don't get me wrong. You're gonna come up with like Mr. Miracle and uh Nightcrawler
Oh my
uh
god, dude, that's
and
not fair.
and Nova or something like that.
Oh, I'm so frustrated. So should I just give
Yeah,
you my
come on.
number 5 right now?
Yeah, come on. It's Kitty Pride. I know it. Come
Oh,
on.
you're such a dick. My number 5 is Nightcrawler.
Ah! I told you. I absolutely told you that he was gonna. Okay, now for those uninitiated, tell the people who Nightcrawler is.
Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner. He's a German circus act. He was born with like dark, like pantherish skin and a long tail. He looks like a human animal, but he can teleport, which I think is the sickest. Like single the for the heroes that have just like one power, they can only do one thing. That is the one that if I could have anything, there's a lot of people that say like, oh, I would fly. I love the idea of teleportation, right? Like, why waste time flying when you could just be there like that? And I think he can also teleport anybody he's in contact with. So, like,
I was.
especially with
I know a lot
gas
of people are
prices right
like.
now,
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like Nightcrawler. Isn't that a Jake Gyllenhaal movie?
that's a great Jake Gyllenhaal movie. But no, so I like Nightcrawler. I thought the two movie adaptations of him were super cool. One of my favorite scenes from any superhero movie ever is Nightcrawler almost assassinates the president in X-Men 2. X-Men is also one of my favorite things, and
Yes.
this is the only X-Men character that I have in my top 5 because he was my favorite. In the X-Men, it's the power that I think is the coolest. So Nightcrawler is my number 5, and screw you for spoiling it beforehand to make fun
And
of
we
me.
didn't talk about it. All right. So
Ugh.
so so I know that we're gonna see like Iron Fist, Silver
No,
Surfer,
Iron Fist sucks.
and
What's wrong with Silver Surfer?
and Jonah Hex is gonna be on your list.
Oh
All right.
my god, dude.
All right, my number 5. This man actually has no superpowers, but he is a superhero because he has because he has nerves of steel.
Sully
He
Sullenberger.
no, it is Batman. Batman has
Oh,
been listen. The man has no
wah, wah.
superpowers. Superpowers being super rich, and he doesn't even the thing that makes him so super is he doesn't even have to fight crime. He chooses to because he's got a mission. His backstory: parents were killed by these vandals and ruffians, and he must avenge this for the rest of his life. He's so rich he doesn't even have to do this, but he chooses a life of service. You should be in on this. You chose what was that the Job Corps, the whatever the hell you
Oh,
chose.
AmeriCorps.
Yeah, the AmeriCorps. This is you.
Poverty.
Yes, a life of poverty in the process.
Yeah, there's a couple of things about Batman that make me a little uncomfortable. It's like he has $1 billion, but he still goes out at night and chokes out like somebody stealing a stick of gum from the Piggly Wiggly. Like that one, I'm a little bit like, oh, maybe him and maybe him and Elon Musk aren't that different. Like
Dude,
I need to go on Twitter and troll somebody because
and
I'm hurting
Batman's made
inside.
a lot of really good movies. There are a couple bad ones,
Yes.
but
Yeah, if you're in it for just the movie side and the fact that he squares off against the coolest villains of and Batman has the coolest villains, which and he always wins, and you're a Floyd Mayweather fan, so it's you go with the undefeated guy
wow.
with all the
And
money.
Batman has never died, so there's that. All right,
Okay.
who's your number 4? Come on,
Oh, this is gonna be no. This is gonna be another one where you make fun of me.
Hawkman. Come on.
Hawkman. This is me this is just me giving a shout out to my dad's people. There is one superhero in the entire like Marvel canon that is Northern Cheyenne, and her name is Danielle Moonstar. She goes by Mirage,
I
and
told
she
you,
can come on now.
but this is acceptable.
All right, she will make you see like whatever your biggest fear is.
Well, that's
So
terrifying.
like yeah, like give you waking nightmares, like go insane or whatever. But she's from the Northern Cheyenne Res. That's where my dad's from, and so I always, as a kid, as a little kid, I would get the New Mutant comics that came out in the early '80s, and I just thought it was so cool that there was some representation of some kind in there. So she was definitely my favorite. But I'm done. I'm done with the with the small time characters after that.
My number 4, another rich guy with no superpowers, but he kicked off one of the greatest movie runs that we've ever seen, and that is Iron Man. And the coolest part is he's one of the only superheroes that you actually know who he actually is as a person. He's like,
Okay.
I'm Tony Stark. Like you don't need to guess who's in
Okay.
this, who's behind this Iron Man mask. I'm Tony Stark, homie. When you see me flying, you know who it is. He's really about that life. He doesn't need a secret identity. So yes,
Okay. Okay. I I I'm sensing a theme. You know, you made fun of Iron Fist, but he's also a billionaire if you want to if you want to add him to your list.
nope.
Okay.
Spectre.
Uh
Spectre is your number
oh my god,
3.
dude, chill. My number 3 is another one that you already spoiled, but it's not even a peripheral character. It just hasn't been in any movie. If you're a comic book fan, this is one of the biggest heroes of all time.
Okay, come on.
They
Come
put
on.
him in one movie and it was really bad, and it's not compelling because he's not defeatable, and that's Silver Surfer.
Oh,
So,
dude, I knew you were gonna say like Silver Surfer, bro.
but
Okay.
that's not like a peripheral character. That's like one of the biggest comic book characters of all time, and his whole thing is he was kind of a slave who was sent to Earth to destroy Earth, either for I don't know, it's Galactus or Thanos, one of the two. He was sent ahead to prepare a planet to be consumed, and he came to Earth, and he instead fought back, and he saved Earth, and then he stuck around. And I love that character arc of going from like more of like
Which
indentured servitude, like they
which
spared his
universe is he in?
He's Marvel. He's
Okay.
Marvel. He's like the DC has Green Lantern, who can kind of do anything because of his ring. Silver Surfer can kind of do anything, like limitless power, but he's got like a surfboard. So he's like Marvel's version of Green Lantern, and he was sent to Earth to destroy it or prepare it for destruction. And he was an indentured servant who had, but he basically like went against his enslavement to save Earth. And I always thought that was the coolest thing
Okay,
ever. So
so
that's my number 3.
2030, we will get to more of the B-side characters. Okay, in the movies. All right, my number 3. This one, even though we only got one movie about him, he was in a couple of other movies as well. But this was probably the most impactful character to little black and brown kids, and that's Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
To actually see, like you said, about the Native American character. What was the name of that character again?
Mirage.
Yeah.
Mirage.
Mirage. The impact of seeing yourself in such a positive way, how that impacted people. And I know people are gonna be like, "What are you talking about? It's a superhero. Superheroes are the same." No, they're not. Like, you would notice if none of them ever looked like you. It's like if you're a white person and you go to a cookout and you're the only white person there, you may not be. That doesn't mean that you're racist for noticing. Like, damn, ain't no other white people around here. You just notice. The same thing with characters, and to see such a like intelligent, powerful, smart, somebody who overcomes adversity, all those things, and then saves the day. And that's Black Panther is my number 3.
All right. I like
Wakanda
it. I
forever.
like it. My number 2. Okay, so you're actually gonna determine whether I'm even allowed to have this as a number 2. Does it have to be someone who is always a hero,
No.
or can it be someone who's kind of on both sides, but like a hero is their nemesis?
Ooh. So like, are you talking about what's that are you talking about like Deadpool? Like that kind of thing?
I'm talking about Venom.
Mm.
Because Venom is a Spider-Man villain, right? But
Correct.
he's not like a villain. He just doesn't like Spider-Man.
Correct.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll leave that one on the back burner because I would say
Okay.
then if we're talking like villains or in between, Venom's my favorite. I'll go ahead and throw number 2 out. My number 2
Morbius
favorite,
is kind of like that too.
Yes, he is. Blade. Speaking of vampires, Blade is my number 2.
Okay.
The Daywalker, that's just like that kicks ass. A
Yeah.
vampire that is alive in the day that wants to kill all of the vampires. So like the entire idea that like you could be stricken with the same thing that like you would think makes people evil, but you actually have a choice. And the movies are just absolutely fantastic. Like Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Okay. The line "some MFers are always trying to ice skate uphill" is the best line of any superhero movie ever delivered.
Ralph, there you go. Now you've gotten on the right track, buddy. Now you've gotten on the right track. My number 2. Never thought this guy would be my number 2, but he is by far had. I mean, aside from Batman, he's had probably the most movies made about him. And some of them are fantastic, including the cartoon ones. And he's got this Steph Curry vibe, because I talked about like one of the things that
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that people love about Steph Curry is that he's like every man. You know, he doesn't have these amazing powers where he's 6'6", 230 pounds, can jump through the roof, and 7 feet like Shaq. Like, he doesn't have that. The one thing that we can all do is be better shooters. We can't be Steph, but we can all shoot better. Like, there's something that we can do to be better, as opposed to just being God-given on top of that. And that's why Spider-Man is my number 2. Because and also that's kind of the reason why people hate on his legacy, like Steph, is because they're like, oh well, the bigger dudes, they'll actually defeat him when it matters the most. They'll just run him over when it matters the most. But Spider-Man just finds a way to win all the time.
What a wild comparison. I
And now
appreciate
we
it though.
found out that there are like, and he's the one who introduced us to the multiverse, really too. Who really took us all the way in. And the last Spider-Man movie was fantastic, bro. Fantastic.
Spider-Man's cool, and now that I have a bunch of kids, and especially one who is obsessed with Spider-Man, I won't say anything bad. I will just say the reason he's not on my top 5 is I don't like a guilt-driven hero. I don't like it doesn't appeal to me of like, oh, I
Yeah.
messed up once, so I have to spend my entire
Yeah,
life
yeah.
chasing
His
ghosts.
mission is kind of, yeah, he is always trying to make up for something. Instead of having like a noble cause, like he always has to, be trying to make up for something. Good point.
Yeah. The Uncle Ben thing, like he should have been good after saving like the first 100 lives that he saved. That should be worth the one that was his fault.
Yep.
That's uh, you can debate that amongst yourselves. My number one is the thing that appeals to me the most is if there was a person out there that didn't have the physical gifts that it took to be a hero, but they had everything else, and then they were given that, and then they made sure that it was never wasted. Like it didn't, the money didn't change them, the fame didn't change them, the power didn't change them. They stayed rooted in who they were, and that's Captain America. I
Oh
love
God.
Captain America.
Oh God.
Love Captain America.
Oh man, dude, I could not be
entire
more
idea
out
that
on
you
Captain America. That for all those reasons, it feels like it's too Americana, and for Black people, and I'm a proud American, but like
It's
it
literally
feels
the
too on the
Spider-Man
nose.
story.
It feels too on
It's
the nose.
literally it's literally the Spider-Man story.
No, no, it's like two blonde hair, blue eyes, right on the nose for me.
What? Oh, Steve Rogers too white?
I don't know if I'd say too white, just too America, like right on the nose.
All right, that's fine. You hate Captain America side
No,
with the
no, no,
Nazis.
no. I don't hate Captain
I'll,
America.
I'll
I
play
do.
Dave Portnoy. Call you Hitler because you
All
don't
right,
like Captain America.
my number one is the most badass and my only DC. Well, actually, no. I have two DC guys. And that is this dude has this dude is unkillable until the last movie, which I don't even know how that they were allowed to kill him. They just didn't want to make any more movies for a while, and that is Wolverine.
He's not
Wolverine.
DC. He's
Oh,
X-Man.
oh, duh. Excuse me. I apologize.
I should have just let you say it and let the comic book weirdos come for you.
So I okay. So and I know better because the X-Men are getting ready to start coming into the Marvel movies too. So anyways, um, I just love the fact that like that he's unkillable. He's kind of like he's got a bad backstory, but then when Wolverine actually shows you love and cares about something, he will go to the ends of the earth for you. He can run fast, he can jump high, he's got the claws. Like he's badass, dude.
I respect Wolverine. I would say that you're putting out some like uh uh feminine we love the protector energy right now. Women love Wolverine, dude. They love Wolverine because like you have to earn his affection and he is a protector.
He's
and a
like the
provider.
bad
Like
boy. He's like the ultimate bad boy.
he is the bad boy. He
energy.
got a motorcycle, he got a leather jacket, he got a stogie.
Oh
He's a
God.
loner, so you don't have to worry about him going out with his friends. He's way older, so you got your daddy issues wrapped up in it. He's
Oh my God.
women love Wolverine. And
Yeah,
then
they
you
do.
got the whole Hugh Jackman thing. I will say it is my favorite portrayal of a comic book character. The like 8 times that Hugh Jackman did it, and he definitely doesn't get enough credit for what is it, the Wolverine, what the one that takes place in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
that one's super good.
that movie's super underrated.
All right. If you notice, we both did not have probably one of the oldest comic book characters. Came out in 1938. Do you know who I'm talking about? And one of the most
Uh,
famous.
Talking about the symbol for hope, boy, the alien from Kansas.
Yes, Superman. Superman is truthfully, like if you ask kids, Superman is not on their list because I double dog dare you to find a good Superman movie. Try to find a good Superman movie, please. I mean, maybe Superman 2, but that's so damn old that you probably it's old enough to where you probably haven't even seen Superman 2.
Here is yeah, you're right. Again, same rule. If a movie was made before 1993, 94, I probably haven't seen it. But Superman is tough in this day and age because the thing that has made modern superheroes attractive, and it's the reason why when they put like an unstoppable uh, force in a movie, the movie doesn't do as well unless that unstoppable force is a villain. Um, People want you to have some type of weakness to overcome. They want you to feel accessible in some type of way. I had Silver Surfer on my list. The reason that nobody likes Silver Surfer and the reason you can't put Silver Surfer in a movie is because he's just all silver. Like you can't recognize yourself in him, and he has no weaknesses to really like say like, oh, he overcame this. It's one of the reasons Spider-Man is so popular. Like he's smaller, the death of his uncle, all this stuff, and like Wolverine has to overcome his own personality.
Yep.
Like everybody has this thing that they have to overcome. Superman is an invincible alien with one weakness that you
Where
literally
the
have
hell
to
do you
make up
find it
a
at?
way. Right, you have to like someone randomly happens upon kryptonite, and that's the only way that you can. And even the Batman versus Superman, like they had to kill Superman in order to make him interesting, and that's what has gotten really really tough for people to embrace I think Superman's fine, but like the idea that he can't be beaten, so there's no like first take debate nature on like, because if you
Yeah.
say Superman versus whoever, what's the answer?
Whoever.
No,
No, no,
Superman's
no,
gonna
no,
whoop
no,
your
no,
ass.
no, no. Oh! I thought you were talking about who would you choose, but in a fight, Superman.
Right, and so that's the thing of like, and that goes back to like your whole like Bill Russell Celtics thing. Like who, they didn't have anybody. They
Yep.
were never in danger. Like
Okay. So, and the other thing is that we're gonna catch some flack for because this is the month of Title, the 50th anniversary of Title IX. Where was Wonder Woman? Who I thought Gal Gadot did a fantastic job. Has done a fantastic job in two movies. I loved, absolutely loved the first one. Liked the second one. There's like Wonder Woman. There's Phoenix. Um,
hey, I had a female and a woman of color. Thank you very much. People get mad at send your hate to at George Reister on Twitter.
yeah. Oh, and I'm a huge Catwoman fan for all the sexist reasons
Who
imaginable,
is your favorite female superhero just based on like powers alone?
based upon powers alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you have to go with like Thor, probably.
Thor is not a female. He just has
Oh,
pretty hair.
you said female. All right.
Yeah.
Favorite. Okay, so like
I don't
she's
I'm
such
threatened by Jean
a
Grey, the mind games
yes,
thing. I'm threatened by that.
yes, she is absolute. Yes, she is scary. I want no part of Jean Grey because who wants their mind controlled? And then the second thing is based upon powers alone. Oh my God, it's got to be the Scarlet Witch. She's terrifying, bro. And the way
Yeah.
she is about her kids is incredible. Um, so I asked my youngest son, who's 10 years old, to give me his
Okay.
list. Right,
Okay.
number 5, Wonder Woman. Number 4, Superman. Number 3, Thor. Number 2, Iron Man. Number 1, Spider Man.
Yeah, that's my Spider-Man's gonna be my number one for probably two of my sons. They're all about it. It's really really hard. Like I don't know what it is, the cool factor of it, and then you throw Miles Morales in there
Yep.
and the multiverse and all that stuff.
Yes.
Like and oh my god, what Tom Holland is ridiculous.
Yes.
And Andrew Garfield slept on too, and I even give credit to Tobey Maguire, even though Spider-Man 3 is the worst movie ever made. But no, I get Spider-Man. It never guilt-driven heroism has never appealed to me. Of like,
Yeah.
if I don't do this, I'll feel bad. I don't
Yeah.
like that.
I'm surprised that like Human Torch, Shazam, or you know, did
Shazam's one of those ones I didn't even know about till the movie came out.
yeah, or Kitty Pride, Black Canary,
It's so dumb. What are you like? I'm what?
Mr. Manhattan. That should have been on your list.
Okay, I'm
Starfire.
surprised. I'm surprised that you didn't have Hulk.
Why?
I don't know because he's Hulk.
Uh, a guy who rages and can't control
Yeah.
his temper. That's not appealing to me. all right, all right. The next thing up, Kyrie Irving. The news about him potentially whether he's going to opt out by June 29th and just walk away from the Brooklyn Nets, or whether they're going to sign him to a long-term deal, which they have been reluctant to do. Now, this Brooklyn Nets situation, them trading away Karis LeVert and Jared Allen to make room for Kyrie Irving, and then Kevin Durant, and then James Harden. It has been an unmitigated disaster up to this point. It hasn't worked at all. It hasn't worked. A lot of it has to do with injury, the pandemic. Like there are so many reasons why it has not worked. But the right, I mean, like, so has this been a result of bad decision making by the Brooklyn Nets, or has this just been bad luck?
I would say some bad luck. Some bad luck. The idea of pairing Kyrie and KD together is not bad decision making. If you could have pulled that off with just to have them on your Lakers, I'm sure you would have gone for that.
Okay.
Like I don't.
Okay, so that's what, and that's the part is that it on its face, it appears like sound decision making. Even though Kevin Durant was hurt, if you checked out the medicals and you've seen what he's been like since, you that's been a quality decision we can agree with, right?
He has the type of game where he could lose athleticism and be
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
monster still.
So
Not many guys have that.
so that even still to this day has been a good decision, right?
Yes.
Kyrie Irving. There were some signs with the way that he left. I mean, it's the truth. There were some signs with the way he left Cleveland, with everything that happened in Boston, and then him leaving after saying, I'm going to resign and all of that stuff. So there were signs, but Kyrie is so damn good that we treat him like the dad or the mom who's supposed to show up, and they convince us every single time, like, yo, I'm coming. I will not let you down this time. I won't have to work this entire trip. And then you end up sitting in the hotel room while they're working the entire time. Like something will always come up. But he's so good that we actually truthfully we actually like Kyrie because we do believe that he's got a good heart. Like we don't believe he is a malicious person or acting out of, you know what I mean? Like that he has bad intentions for actually anybody.
Right, but I mean, he makes what 35, 40 million a year, and he's out here tweeting the other day. Nobody should own land.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you own some, my friend. But okay, so then that got me to thinking. All right. Oh wait, the James Harden situation though. That was a bad decision. Bringing in
You
James
think
Harden was a bad decision because he's not a winner. There's nothing about him as a winner. So they have, and then they traded him to Brooklyn, which traded him to Philadelphia, which then seemed like a good decision, right? That's what I'm saying is that they haven't made all bad decisions, but you know what it is. You know why they're losing, why this hasn't worked out. The same the same reason why it hasn't fully worked out for my Lakers. You know why?
okay?
It's a get
Why?
rich quick scheme.
Yes.
It is a get rich and do get rich quick schemes ever work for the long term?
They only work for the first people to do it, for the pioneers of the for the pioneers of it, the ones that convince you that you should try too.
Yeah. And then as soon as you try to, they skirt out the back door. That
Right out of
Miami got rich
out here
quick.
building depth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Miami got rich quick, blew up quick. The Boston
And you
Celtics.
notice Miami has not gone back to the well on that.
No.
They have tried to build up their team through other means to make it sustainable after they got the juice from those two titles.
Is there anything more sustainable than what's going on in Golden State?
No,
Or
and it's
what's
horrible.
going
It
on
is-
in like Memphis? And like these things feel sustainable.
Yeah, like stuff like Memphis draft, like John Morant falling in their lap, and then they're drafting Brandon Clark in the middle of the first round. Like stuff like that is the type of stuff that allows you to build a foundation. And now the Warriors are in a place where if they wanted to, they could put together a package of like Looney and Wiseman for DeAndre Ayton or some sort of nonsense, and then just fortify what they already have. It's scary. The Warriors are very scary to me right now. And then I've already talked about the fact that Boston has every single player on that team under contract next year. You don't have to make a single change, and that to be considered the favorite coming out of the East. And they did enough in that finals to convince themselves that with maybe some additional scoring added to what they already have, that they would have been the better team. And so yeah, what's going on with Brooklyn right now? Like they either have to double down on it and hope that maybe there's an injury or two in the East, and then everybody's healthy. But it sounds like Kyrie wants out. This whole Lakers thing is concerning to me for the most part, because if you leave Crypto.com arena and you make your way over to the 101, you're only about a 20-minute drive from the Church of Scientology Celebrity Center. And that's the one thing
Dude,
we
they are
haven't
gonna
seen
come
yet.
for Kyrie, bro. They will come for Kyrie.
That's
So,
the one evolution left for Kyrie is Kyrie the Scientologist.
all right. So there are, well, he's a Muslim now, I believe. So I doubt that they'll be able to get him.
Maybe the first Muslim Scientologist, Native American, black crypto investor with his own Discord who plays 8 games a season.
All right, there are a couple trades that could work for the Lakers. Lakers get Kyrie Irving and Seth Curry from Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets get John Wall's expiring contract. And the Rockets get Russell Westbrook and a 2027 first round pick from the Lakers. The money matches. John Wall gets to play.
I'd love John Wall to get to play, but I'd also love for him to collect $47 million from his couch.
Oh, yeah. If there was any doubt, was he opting in? I would have bet my entire year's salary that he was opting in at $47 million. He hasn't played a game in 3 seasons almost.
I'm so proud of John Wall. Like, if you want to talk trash about him, that's fine. But in my mind, he's done nothing wrong.
Nope.
He's done no one thing. He is living the American dream right now.
Facts. But he's probably sad because he wants to play basketball. And he's
He tried. Didn't he ask to play last year?
Yes. And he's been relegated to men's leagues and runs and open runs. All right. Or Lakers get Kyrie and Seth Curry. The Nets get Miles Turner and Malcolm Brogdon. And the Pacers get Russell Westbrook and a 2028 first rounder.
It feels like whoever gets Russ is just getting an expiring contract at the end of his career. I would love to see. I think Russ in Indianapolis would be kind of fun because whatever they tried to do, whatever they thought they had didn't happen when TJ Warren decided that the bubble was the only place that he was going to be any good.
Oh my God, bro! You talk about, dude. He went full Jeremy Lin. He went
Yeah.
Lin Sanity. He went TJ Sanity, and now it has
He
all
definitely
faded
had
away.
his moment, but it feels like either of these scenarios ends up with you having to deal with an already overly interesting Lakers roster that adds Kyrie to the mix.
Yep. But
And I
see,
I mean, is there
but
any
at least we can
scenario in which you
convince
end up
ourselves.
happy?
Yeah,
You would.
because at least we can convince ourselves that after Kyrie saying that things, if he were more mature, things would have worked out differently in Cleveland. So maybe he is more mature, and LeBron's the guy that can keep him on the rails. We can convince ourselves of that for at least half the season. But I don't know how he's going to deal with COVID protocols out here in Cali because you they still check your vaccine card to go into restaurants and all of this stuff, and everybody gonna know if Kyrie in there, he ain't been jabbed up.
I don't know how he's going to deal with ocean air. Ocean air, perfect weather, lower your IQ by 8 to 10 points for sure. Maybe that's what he needs. Maybe that's what he needs when he loses 10 IQ points. He'll be down here with the rest of us and just want to play some basketball.
Yep. All right. Final thing up. This was a tragic story that we woke up to this morning. Jaylon Ferguson, outside linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, was found dead last night. And this was absolutely just, dude, all these young guys dying. It has just impacted me the most. But Ralph actually had something that I thought was very interesting on it that I thought was noteworthy.
Well, we get our information. You and I get our information from like Twitter, right? It comes down the pike, and the thing about getting your information from Twitter is you're exposed to the reaction to the information. And so you not only get the information that Jaylon Ferguson passed away at 26 years old, just like a day after we find out Caleb Swanigan passed away at 25 years old, former Portland Trailblazer and Sacramento King, like um, you get this information and then you immediately are subjected to people talking about whether they were vaccinated or not, or whether a vaccine killed them. And that stuff it's horrifying. Like, we don't, it's okay just to wait. We don't know anything. All we know is it's tragic, and tragedy is unfulfilled potential. This is an athlete who, I think, what I was reading, didn't go to his own like draft party so that he could help with tornado relief. Somebody who was, their athletic accomplishment, they're like the all-time sack leader at La Tech, and they're out in Baltimore getting reps on a good defense, and they're found in a 1,200 foot square foot townhouse, unresponsive, and that's horrifying. Like,
Yep.
I don't know what to I don't know what to make of that. But the entire idea that people are just throwing out that, like, oh, was he vaccinated? It's a vaccine. The vaccine is killing athletes. The vaccine's killing all these celebrities. It's just that's what you're seeing in the replies to all this
When
stuff.
you
And like,
literally have no idea.
no, and it's super irresponsible. Super irresponsible. But people don't care. People who do that type of stuff, they don't have empathy for the family. They don't. All they want to do is make sure that whatever preconceived notion or thing that they had latched onto or thing that they're paranoid about gets some sort of oxygen in the wake of a terrible thing that happened. And it's starting to really get to me, man. It's starting to me. I've seen a lot and been through a lot on Twitter.com that, I feel like I got a steel stomach by this point. But people just dropping the word vaccine in the replies to every death is like, man, what level of insensitivity have we reached? That even in whatever universe, even if you ended up being right, what have you done?
Yep.
What good have you done? Everybody that's going to get vaccinated already got vaccinated.
Yeah. There's the haze in the barn already, buddy. The haze in the barn. Last thing up, and I probably should have put this earlier because it's totally going to change the mood. But I wanted to get Ralph's reaction to a picture, and this is a picture of a married couple, and one of their outfits Ralph hates. That is Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. First of all, did Gabrielle Union shave her head, or is that
It
like
looks like it.
her hair is pulled back in a ponytail?
I don't know because we've seen her with her hair pulled back in like 15 different movies. That looks like a shaved head.
Yeah, and he's wearing out a Utah Jazz all yellow jersey with. It looks sheer, dude. It looks like
It
one of those
does.
fishnet Morris Day in the Time. Like it looks very 80s.
Very Milli Vanilli.
Yes, yes. And you now, what is your reaction to this photograph?
I just it. This is pretty universally hated when the Jazz put out their new jerseys, and I know that he's a minority owner. I actually kind
Yes,
of like the ownership group
a minority owner.
that it. I don't like seeing Dwayne Wade in a Jazz jersey for any reason.
I know it is
It's
weird.
been pretty rare to see any NBA player after they're retired don a jersey of a team they never played for. So even that is like it makes me feel like, oh, this is one of those ESPN photoshops, but for fashion. But I don't hate it, but I definitely don't like it. It's gonna be it's gonna be a cold day in hell before I support anything the Utah Jazz do.
What
But
do you think about them not having any purple in their uniforms? Like
uh,
aside from like the throwback, like that their everyday jerseys are essentially black, yellow, and white.
the purple to me is the way they get. I identify with them being in purple more than I identify with them having the Jazz name even on their jersey because it always seemed like it's like Flint Tropics, like the thing that Will Ferrell came up with to be funny in the basketball movie he did. Like it's not supposed to make Utah Jazz. Like I've hung out in downtown Salt Lake plenty of times, ate at the Blue Iguana. There's no jazz music, probably never will be. Like it's not it the whole name has always been goofy. So for them to abandon the purple, which is like representative of the horizon, a really unique landscape out there, and to just have I don't know, maybe it's a shout out to
I feel like they're
the
supposed to have the
honeybees or
purple
whatever,
and
but
the green. Like I really wasn't feeling like those, and I know that it was like that the scenic jerseys were last year that they were actually more reminiscent of the colors and the landscape out in Utah. But I got to tell you, I didn't like it that much.
I would love to see them surrender the name, the Cleveland Brown style, right? I'd love to see them surrender the name so that New Orleans can get it back because Pelicans are probably the dumbest name in the NBA. And then if they want to keep that jersey setup, then name the team after something that Utah is actually like well known for. And I know it sounds like a WNBA name, but call them the Hive.
The Hive.
Yeah, man, that's what they're famous for out there is the bees,
I didn't know that. I call them the Rockies.
the
Wait,
Utah
never.
Rockies.
Yeah, or the I don't know the Utah everything closes earlys. the um
The
the
Utah Family Home Evenings,
yes, the Utah Lakes. No, you got the Lakers. The Utah Snowcaps.
Utah Shakers, Salt Shakers.
The or the Utah we used to employ a pedophile, but we now don't. All right, that is Reister or Wrong today. I'm George Reister. He's Ralph Amster. Peace out. Catch you guys later.